Welcome everyone to a new update, and today we'll cover everything you need to know about the current price action of Bitcoin, as we are seeing a ton of no volatility as the last period has been very boring, and today and yesterday we had some big economic numbers coming in. But before we're going to continue, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel beneath and like this YouTube update if you enjoy the content. And if you also like what we do, we also have a trade letter with the latest altcoin setups, market information and market analysis. You can try it for free for 1 week, and the link can be found in the description beneath. The same goes for our premium membership, which covers my personal trades and trade IDs from the team and way more. This can also be tested for 1 week for free. Now, the markets have been calming down as we are all waiting for GDP yesterday, which technically confirmed a technical recession for 2 quarters in a row, negative numbers. And today PCE numbers came out as well, but that's not what we'll be focusing on in this update, as we focus a lot about macroeconomics. We'll be diving into technicals and price actions, what level I'm looking to buy and sell Bitcoin, and what we can define from the higher time frame. So that's what we'll be doing in this update, so let's move to the charts. Once we are looking at the higher time frames, there's a few things that we should be watching when it comes to the Bitcoin price action. First, we've got this ton of volume on Binance, which is primarily due to the fact that spot trading has become without fees. So that's why we can actually see the increase on volume here. So don't trap yourself in thinking that the volume is accelerating so fast. If you want to know all the information about the volume, you can actually look at all-time history index, and then you can see that we're just having regular volume, but it's shifted towards Binance a bit more. Now, when we're looking at the time frame, or when we're looking at levels, we are squeezing ourselves between a few. So that's why the price action has been relatively calm. We've got this entire weekly block and level around 18.8k, as last week we have been creating a new low and closed way lower than the previous month. So the lowest closed since we started the entire run in November 2020. That's what we see in the price action here as well. Now, on the other hand, when we look at the upside, we can also see that 19.5 is a weekly level that we have to break, as 19.5 to 19.7 is the area that we have been acting to as support in the previous period. So in order to actually have any result into continuation, or at least have upper tests, Bitcoin needs to hold this level at 18.8, and it needs to break through 19.5 to 19.7 to actually have the space to start continuing towards 21.5, towards that block that we can navigate on when it comes to lower time frames. So when we're looking at lower time frames, we have constructed a few important levels that we should be looking at, right? So we have constructed a few levels to watch, of which we technically speaking have a range that we have been acting within. So what we just said about the levels that are important to keep an eye on, which is the area around 19.5 to 19.7, is the area that we are currently finding this entire resistance here. So that's why we see a lot of resistance around that range, and that's why we also see all those buys at 18.4 to 18.8, because that's where the support on a weekly time frame comes in. So the range is quite defined. So we've got the resistance at 19.6, which we rejected on in this bounce here. We've got this entire block, so everything between 19.5 to 19.7 is the resistance zone, right? That's why we have been acting here. On the downside, we've got the level at 18.4, which is acting at support, and we've got the area at 18.6, which is comparable to the price action that we have around the support of the weekly time frame. So therefore that's an important one. That's where we also found looking longs overall. Now we've got the 18.8 level here too, which we bounced from. We concluded in the previous live stream that if we are going to fall beneath 19.3, we are most likely retesting 18.8, and that has been the case. In that way, good bounce happening, and now we're just chopping around. I think that the areas to watch is the area at 19k. So if you want to construct any long that you are not filled on yet, you're probably going to look at the long at 19k. That's going to be the region that you should be looking for if you want to play the downwards one. The aggressive one is the one here at 19.3, but then I think that you should be looking at a strategy where you want to DCA into this entire range, looking for a swing play targeting 20.7 and ultimately 22.4. As you can see, we've had a big nosedive here, so if we crack 20.1, most likely we're going to continue towards 22.4. So based on the long side, there are three scenarios to watch. If you want to be patient, then you're looking at this range here for longs. Probably stop here. TPs are there and there. That is going to be your play. The second play that we should be looking at is holding 19.3, which we have here. That can be defined as an aggressive approach. Not my favorite, as we are into such a narrow range and we have been taking liquidity on both sides already. So in that way, the second scenario I said, okay, if you buy at 19.3, be able to DCA towards 19k if we get such a wick down again. The third scenario is that we bounce up towards 20k, have a retest here at 19.6, and then we start accelerating. So then this is your trigger, and then you're looking at a position in which you are waiting for the lows to establish here. And if the lows are established like this, and this is your last low, this can be your trade, looking for 22.2, and then you're also looking for 20.7. So then that's the third scenario for longs. If we're looking at shorts, especially looking for shorts can be done in the range at 22. It can be done at 20.7 and 20k, but it has to be based on the price action that's coming out at that point. If we have a very vertical move like we have been seeing here going towards 20.7, yes, it's very likely that you can actually start scalp shorting, but then you're trading against the trend, so reduce your trading size. Now, if we do lose 19.3 and have a very slight bounce here, or if we do lose 19.3 and reject 18.8, these are the triggers to actually start shorting. So the second scenario that I said about longing Bitcoin around 19k has to be done with taking liquidity here, or actually the fast pace of the bounce. If there's literally almost no bounce like we have been seeing here, then of course this is a short area, but preferably you want to be shorting at 18.8, and then we're looking at new lows. So those are the scenarios right now when it comes to Bitcoin trading and the price action. It's very simple. I think that the optimal one is looking for this flip. And I think that if the weekly is able to actually get above 19.6 and target 20.7, the party time is going to be there. So let's round off this update towards a conclusion. Thank you for watching to this update. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you do, please leave a comment beneath so we can actually improve our YouTube channel. Also make sure to tune in to our live streams on Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Central European Time. We're going to do some really cool stuff in October. We're going to do giveaways and more. So make sure to be there. And also check out my Twitter and Instagram where you can find the latest information about the markets. Don't do stupid shit, remain calm, and avoid emotional trading. I'll see you again tomorrow 11 a.m. to a new update. Ciao!